Welcome everyone to another edition of the Comic Review. My name is Eric, and today we are going to check in on another one of the actual specials coming out of Rebirth's Week 2 offerings. So let's go ahead and dive into Woman Rebirth number 1. So to anyone who has not been fully keeping up on the release schedule of the Rebirth books from DC Comics, there were 5 books that were released this week on June 8th that tie into Rebirth. 3 of them were specials, 2 of them were ongoing series. So Wonder Woman Rebirth number 1 is one of the 3 specials. The other 2 specials that came out this week were Aquaman Rebirth number 1 and The Flash Rebirth number 1. So we'll get to those in other videos, as well as ongoing series, Action Comics, which we've already done. The first issue of that, as well as the new issue, Detective Comics. This video, we're going to concentrate on what all happened in the Wonder Woman Rebirth issue. So let's go ahead and dive into that right now. So this video may be a little bit different than other review recap videos I've done in the past, mainly because of the fact that going through this issue, as far as the actual action or plot line of this issue, not much actually really happens. This issue is actually more or less kind of Wonder Woman's inner reflection on various stories and lies and false truths and whatnot that have been told to her over the course of the last 5 years of real world time since the start of the New 52. At the beginning of the book, we get a couple glimpses at Wonder Woman's 2 main origins that she's had. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Wonder Woman book and everything, before the New 52, it was established that Deanna was actually created from clay and given life, whereas in the New 52, that origin was kind of done away with, and that her mother had an affair with Zeus, allowing Deanna to be part god, which opened the door for her later on in the New 52 Wonder Woman series to become the god of war once Ares was killed. We also got a revelation in, I believe it was Justice League number 50, before Rebirth started, that Deanna also had a twin brother that was also born. I believe his name was Jason. So it's again another thing in her life that, you know, she was kept from her, another lie that was told to her about her origin. And that's kind of what this book is going to be getting into a little bit. This is kind of the origins of Wonder Woman. She's been told various things. She doesn't know what is right and what is wrong. Even during the first few pages of the book, she kind of she puts an end to a prostitution ring during the first 5 pages of the book, and even during that dialogue, she's talking about how when she first came to man's world, they called her Wonder Woman, and she at first thought it was more like they were looking on her in awe and wonder, essentially, to everyone even questioning her existence and how a woman can do the things that she does. So it's kind of going over and kind of drilling home the fact of different things in her life at one point were one way, and then they were changed into another way. So like I said, she really goes through, and basically she's looking for the truth. That's basically the whole point of this book, is she's trying to find the truth in herself. Even at one point, she ties her lasso of truth around her arm and is asking herself questions mentally that she's verbally out loud answering, just basically trying to figure out who she is herself, and if she even knows who she is. And she even admits, while she's under the influence of her own lasso, that she has been deceived. She then goes over different events of her life, the discovery of Steve Trevor on Paradise Island, her going through the trials in order to be the one that goes into man's world, the original fights with Ares, becoming the god of war herself, all these things that she's looked at as true parts of herself that she's now even questioning in her own life. So again, this issue really didn't have much of a plot line going in, like, say, Action Comics 957 or Green Arrow Rebirth number 1 or any of those other issues, because it's basically her sitting in her apartment for most of the issue, having this mental voyage of self-discovery and asking herself all these questions about who she is and what she's supposed to stand for. During the lasso truth detector scene, she realizes that she's been played for a fool. She breaks her mirror in her room, and one of the things I want to point out about this scene is that when the mirror shatters, you see all these different scenes in her life. And there's one picture that kind of spoke to me a little bit, and this is kind of goes, it's like the one slight tie into the plot line of DC Universe Rebirth #1 is that when she shatters the mirror, she sees we as the reader see all these different broken shards that show images of different points of the New 52 world, but then there's one that shows her and Superman. They're both wearing their costumes pre-Flashpoint. So to me, that kind of throws in the question again whether or not she's one of the things that we're gonna be exploring in this book is possibly the past that was hidden by the events of Flashpoint, mixed in with the spoilers, mixed in with the discovery that the Watchmen have been manipulating things in the DC universe since Flashpoint, with taking the 10 years of time from the heroes. She basically then starts wondering what the moment was where everything in her life went wrong, and that she needs to find herself again, whatnot. So she actually, off panel, starts removing the silver pieces and whatnot to her New 52 costume, and she puts on another costume where all the trim and everything is gold, again reminiscent of pre-Flashpoint Wonder Woman. But to me, and again, I haven't read any other reviews or anything. I usually read reviews after I've done my own video, so I don't get that stuff in my head. But when I'm doing these videos, but the costume to me, her new costume, it had like a skirt type thing with the outfit and the gold trim and everything. To me, it almost looked like, I don't know if this is supposed to be like a previous outfit of hers that she's putting on, or if this is totally a new outfit. But to me, it looked like a New 52/Rebirth reimagining of the original Wonder Woman costume, because back then she did wear a skirt rather than the strapless bathing suit that she essentially has worn for the last 70 or so years. So I thought that, you know, the updating of that outfit, if that is what they were going for, it looked good. I like the look of this new costume. We're not going to see it. We're only going to see it half as much as we would other characters' costumes. We'll get to that in a minute. Me being cryptic about that will be revealed. But so Deanna decides that she needs to go find the source of the deception in her life. So she decides first to go to Mount Olympus. She gets there, and she starts getting attacked by minotaurs, centaurs, various constructs. Olympus itself looks overgrown, buildings are cracked and everything. So there's something going on in the world around her, and the Olympus and the settings of the New 52 Wonder Woman run, that something's not right. She realizes that something is changing, quote, the story in her life, even declaring that she's not on Olympus, that things are being changed too much. I'm not 100% sure if this is just a new villain that she's going to be encountering during the actual Rebirth era Wonder Woman run, or if this is, again, spoilers, Dr. Manhattan affecting her life directly. If this is going to be something we're going to be seeing throughout the Wonder Woman run in the Rebirth era. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what is actually the force that's quote manipulating the story around her. She does declare that she will find the truth, and that's kind of where we're left at the end of this issue. So even though there wasn't as much action in this issue, there was no overarching plot, we didn't really get into her finding her brother or even starting that voyage or anything like that. I'm hoping that's going to be something that gets touched on in the main Wonder Woman book. But overall, I enjoyed this issue. If I had to rank it, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. just because of the fact that there was no real plot. It was just her own self-reflection, which, I mean, sometimes you need an issue like that. I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do with a number one shot, but overall, for someone like me who's been reading the New 52, this is a good bridge issue between the old series and the new series coming up. But again, like a lot of these Rebirth books, I'm not 100% confident that it was all too new reader friendly, because it did require a lot of knowledge of the character to kind of get what she's talking about. People who've read these books know what she's talking about just because of the fact that you've read the New 52 era, you're familiar with her history prior and her origins prior, and the revelations in Justice League over 50. So there's a lot of things you had to have read, just even about her origins, that if you're a long-time reader, you know. If you're a new reader coming into this, this is your first jump into Wonder Woman, you may not have understood it that much. Overall, good issue. The return of Greg Rucka. I'm looking forward to the future of this book. Speaking of the future of this book, next week, no, 2 weeks from now, is going to be Wonder Woman #1. That's going to be on June 22nd. That's the actual official start to the Wonder Woman series. That issue is going to start a new storyline called The Lies. Wonder Woman's going to be doing things a little bit differently than other Rebirth ongoing series. All the odd number issues, so 1, 3, 5, etc., are going to be doing a storyline called Lies, and it's going to be taking place in the present, and showing, kind of going in continuation of what we just saw of Deanna trying to find the truth of her story, her life, trying to make sense of it all. The even numbered issues, so 2, 4, 6, etc., is going to actually start a story in issue #2 called Wonder Woman Year 1. So it's actually going to go back, I'm assuming, to the origins of Diana, and just show her beginnings, possibly even show the truth about her birth or creation, or whatever Greg Rucka is going to bring into this. I don't know if he's going to erase the New 52, what's canon with that, and that she's Zeus's daughter, if he's going to try to bring back the fact that she was made from clay. I have no idea, so I'm looking forward to that. So again, it's going to be 2 separate storylines. So if you're only interested in the present Wonder Woman, just pick up every other issue with the odd issues. If you just want to see the Year 1 stuff, that's going to be the even issues. I'm subscribed to the book regardless, so I'll be reading both. I'm trying to do a playlist for the various series storylines, so there'll probably be 2 Wonder Woman playlists, so be on the lookout for that as issue 1 comes out, issue 2 comes out. Those will be going into their separate playlists, so if you're just looking for recaps and reviews on one storyline or the other, you won't have to be confused if you're just running through a playlist. So be on the lookout for that, just to let you guys know that's how I'm going to be doing things. So let me know what you guys thought of the issue. Did you enjoy Greg Rucka's return to Wonder Woman? Were you looking for something a little bit more meatier for a introductory one-shot to the character? Did you want something that spelled out her backstory a little bit more in this one-shot as a new reader? Let me know your opinions down in the comments. I also want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow the page on my different social media links down below in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next review. Later.